What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic night so far. The Miami Hurricanes have defeated the Virginia Tech Hokies 38-26. They are bowl eligible. They are currently 6-5. And it seems like we're going to be hearing an athletic director announcement very shortly. A lot of people are excited about that as well. I'm expecting an announcement this week. It seems like Ross. Before we get into that, kind of want to just talk about the game real quick. I mean, I think the Hurricanes. I think they found an offensive power with Tyler Van Dyke. He is their future quarterback. This is his fifth game in a row for throwing over 300 passing yards. Let's talk about that real quick before we get into the athletic director position that's going to be filled in.
The big thing to me, Paul, in this game was actually us taking a deep shot early and completing it. That deep pass that he did to Rambo in the first drive, it really put the Virginia secondary on their heels. They played back after that, which allowed us to have short, quicker passes and uncovered, so you could get those 5-6 yards off of them. But Rooster coming through again for us. We found a recipe here, and lo and behold, we actually got Brashard Smith involved. That was freaking fantastic. So I think we're starting to understand that there's absolutely no reason to hold back our playmakers. Let the fast guys out there, the quick, fast, strong guys, let them out there and let them do their jobs in space.
Yeah, Brashard Smith was implemented in the offense. I think, Tyler Van Dyke, just threw a deep ball. Brashard Smith was double covered, and he burned both of those defenders in the secondary. He's that fast.
Yeah.
Incorporate him a lot more in the offense, and look what happens. So, no, I think it's great. We have a lot of speed. We have a lot of playmakers. They just need to play more. I think it was refreshing to see Thad Franklin towards the end of the game get implemented in a lot of short yardage situations. That's something we really covered on third and short situations. Cody Brown, it just wasn't happening. We weren't converting on third downs. Put in a bigger body back. I think Thad Franklin would be a great fill-in, and I think it showed against Virginia Tech yesterday what could happen. So definitely was nice to see. I want to switch over to Virginia Tech's offense. I want to kind of pick your brain on Miami's defense. I felt like the receivers made a lot of huge plays.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of outstanding catches as well. Really kept drive going. They put up points. Quarterbacks were fairly successful running the football. How do you think Miami played defensively?
It wasn't a fantastic performance. Obviously, it was decent. I wouldn't call it just terrible. It was decent, but dude, too slow, same mistakes, missed tackles. It's frustrating, man. It's just frustrating. They started off the game on defense, kind of looking almost like they were going to kind of get it together a little bit. But dude, the second, third drives and stuff, you started to see as the game went on, more and more missed tackles.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into the game that much, guys. For those of you guys listening, it's really about the athletic director fill-in position. I will say, Manny Diaz is 6-5 now. Miami's going to a bowl game. I'm curious about this, Ross. Do you think Manny Diaz is done? He's no longer going to be the head coach of the University of Miami. He understands this, or he's still fighting for his job right now if he goes 8-5?
I guess the way I could state it is looking at it through the recruiting lens that I have. It seems like they have really, really kind of stopped pursuing a lot of these guys, and even the guys that they are in contact with, it's not like it used to be. So it's that makes me kind of feel like they might have the hint that they're not going to be around this next season. Okay. I think Diaz. He got the AD fired, basically. I know it's a mutual thing or whatever they want to call it, but he got the AD fired, basically. I don't see any way that he actually sticks around as our head coach next year.
Yeah, I'll be curious. I think we'll probably get an announcement tomorrow this week about the athletic director position. Yeah. There's been a lot of buzz on social media going around. A lot of people are saying Alonzo Highsmith could be in a position with the athletic department as a overseeing the football program, whatever that title is.
Football operations, yeah.
Maybe Tom Jurich is throwing in for the athletic director position. I mean, there's been a lot of buzz on social media, on Twitter, of people making statements like this. If Alonzo Highsmith is involved with the athletics program, I would say whenever they make the decision this week or next, whenever it is, I am more confident Manny Diaz will be gone.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't see how Zoe coming in would mesh well with Manny Diaz.
I do think the firing of Dan Mullen maybe even put pressure on Miami to seal the deal, because now Florida's job is open, and I guarantee you a guy like Lane Kiffin would be interested.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be interested. I don't think Mario Cristobal would be interested, but money does talk. I don't know what Florida's looking to invest in a head coach, how much money they want to pay, but I think Lane Kiffin will listen to whatever they have to offer.
Yeah, they'll have enough to be players in the scene, basically. They'll have enough to compete and go after the guys they really want to go after. We can't get into bidding wars, dude. We just can't do it. Here's where I'm kind of caught up in something, I am adamant about doing due diligence this time. I'm absolutely adamant about it. But it's kind of strike while the iron's hot kind of statement. Do we want to wait around and do we end up doing too much due diligence and wait too long, and then the bidding wars actually start? Or do we do our due diligence, boom, 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 now, get it figured out, and make a hire? That's what I'm hoping for.
I think if let's say whoever the AD we hire, whoever's a part of the process, I strongly believe Miami has their ideal fit for the next head coach at Miami, and the relationship has already been developed, and they've already inquired about the level of interest. I think they know their three guys they want to target, maybe their top two guys, and they've already been in contact with their agent. Things have been rolling for the relationship to get going. That's just my opinion. Because remember, early national signing day is January 15th, correct?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
So let's say they hire an AD tomorrow. That will be November 22nd. That means, if you want, I don't know how long you want to keep Manny Diaz for, but in that time period before an early national signing day, it would be ideal to hire a coach. So there's enough time to at least get a decent class going, or something, something in the class instead of nothing.
I'm worried that they're already considering 2022 loss, Paul. We're so far behind. It's outrageous how far behind we got in this cycle, dude.
Yeah, it's horrendous. It's horrendous.
Talking to the recruits, talking with their parents, dude. They're still. We've talked about this before in the past. They don't get it, dude. They're confused as hell as what's going on at Miami. And basically the response I'm getting from them is, if they're not in contact with my son, or if the recruit's saying they're not in contact with me, they're not going to be around next year then, because they're not pursuing or even trying to get these guys locked in. That's what I'm hearing from that end. Now, we know that they're still pursuing guys, right, but it's just, how far are you pursuing them? Is it just for show, or you really think you're going to be coaching here next year? Right. But dude, I don't see how Manny Diaz could be coaching here next year. There's just no way, man.
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people would be renewing their season tickets. Maybe they, I just don't see the reason why Manny Diaz would be retained, especially if they hire Alonzo Highsmith in some aspects, whether as athletic director, head of football operations. I honestly think that's going to be a done deal with Manny if they hire Alonzo Highsmith. Speaking of potential top candidates for the AD role, who are some names that you'd be happy about that you think Miami did a good job with this hire?
The one up top, if Alonzo Highsmith ends up not being just a football operations guy, but an AD, however the dominoes fall in that, I'm not going to be upset at that as long as he's involved at the school in some kind of capacity. Jurich, guy you brought up, there's a lot of good points about Jurich that make him really kind of a very, very interesting fit for Miami. It really is. He was there at Louisville for 20 years. He had one national AD of the year in 2007. He hired Rick Pitino for their basketball team. He made tons of improvements and facility upgrades. He single-handedly took Louisville from just a random school into a school that actually had a name and was competing.
I think Tom Jurich would be an outstanding hire. Like you said, he was at Louisville. He hired Rick Pitino. He has hired their baseball program, by the way.
Yeah.
Their head coach is like the highest paid coach in baseball, and they are a top 25 successful program. They're always ranked in the top 10, top 15 in baseball. Basketball, he hired
Even
Rick.
women's basketball.
Okay, so like this is gonna be like, how long has Rick Pitino been at Louisville as a men's basketball coach? Maybe the chat can help me out.
Yeah,
But
I don't
whatever,
know.
he oversaw Rick Pitino's time at Louisville if he didn't hire him. So I mean, look, he has an experience. He has the appropriate resume. He's just his fallout at Louisville now was a little bit iffy, but he did file a lawsuit against the school, and I think they cleared him
Yep.
of the allegations, the violations that were under his time there. So I think University of Miami, they've done the appropriate due diligence while he was canned in 2017. Thank you very much, Daniel Rivera. And I think if they do move forward with Tom Jurich, I think Miami did their end, understanding that, hey, we're not going to have a Nevin Shapiro situation. We're not going to go through the violations again. So that is definitely refreshing.
Part of his buyout, like you mentioned, was clearing his name of any wrongdoing, and that's a big deal when you're looking back to go to references for your next school. You don't want your other employer to be able to just rip on you and say you're basically not a good employee, or he left us with scandals and left us in the dust. So he got his money. He got the title at least somewhat suitable for what he needs to be as far as looking for jobs in the future and stuff. He's not being held back of the title that they gave him, and they actually considered it a retirement, is what they kind of considered it. That's just a soft word that they're using, but it was what they're considering. But here's one other thing, guys. Here's one of the other points of Tom Jurich that makes me very interested is he has a relationship with Adidas. He already has a very good relationship with Adidas. We're in Adidas school. That doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt, man.
Miami Canes 37 with the $5 donation, greatly appreciated. Jurich, Jurich and Zoe. Maybe Zoe head of football operations, Tom Jurich as the AD. I think that would be a very interesting combination. What would you think about that? Like an athletic director handing over the responsibility of the supervision towards a former football player at the University of Miami that, bleeds orange and green. Remember, Alonzo Highsmith, guys, I mean, this is what he used to do for a living, was scout players in college, visit every single program in the nation, meet with college coaches, and go through that process for the NFL draft. It was a very high position with several NFL organizations. I think this would be an outstanding hire as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very happy to have him in any capacity within the school. We know that he's not going to settle for less. We know that he's not going to settle for mediocrity. He's going to push and push and push, and he knows what it takes to win in Miami. He knows what it takes to win in Dade County, and it's such a big chance for us right now, Paul, that if he came in, and like you're saying, if he came in as the football operations and Tom Jurich was the AD, I would have zero problems with it. I would actually celebrate the move. I really would. Nothing holding me back on that one there. And there's probably only one other name that really stands out to me in AD that I'd want there is Mac Rhodes from Baylor. But that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people like him. I don't know if he's ever been interested in the Miami athletic director position.
Yeah, I don't know.
Obviously, we can't, as a fan base, just say names, and it's like they don't even want the job, right? So, hey, who knows?
Personally, a guy I like. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I know that, but there's been a lot of public comments about Rhodes as someone the fans would love, but I don't think there's, according to anyone in the media, there hasn't been anyone who'd made a statement saying that the Baylor AD is interested or vice versa.
Yeah.
So hey, that's just the reality of the situation. Maybe Miami's AD job just was not of interest to him. Any other names? I know Dan. I believe it's Ratkovich. Clemson's athletic director. He got his master's degree from Miami. Do you think that would be a cool hire? Anyone else I'm missing here besides Tom Jurich and Alonzo Highsmith coming to the University of Miami?
If we were to kind of strike out on our top options, I wouldn't mind us, and this goes back to truly doing the due diligence, and I mean truly doing the due diligence is maybe looking into a guy like Curry at Wake Forest. You know, I mean, there's a possibility of that. I mean, at least he's
Yep.
got the football team pointed in the right direction. So,
Right.
and that's not that was not an easy process to get them pointed in the right direction. Wake Forest was not a football school, so props to him for that. So yeah, if we miss out on some of our top options, maybe we can go for a guy who's already in the ACC that understands how things are done there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. At the end of the day, you got to go with an athletic director that, has overseen a program before. I don't know if I want to start with someone new that's never been an AD before, because
Yeah,
then you're learning on the job as well. So I think putting Alonzo Highsmith in the position, just overseeing the football program, will be an easier transition since, he was in a role with the NFL organizations he was a part of to develop and evaluate talent, make connections with college coaches, and just evaluate the players that potentially could fit well in the NFL organization he represented. Where this, he's going to evaluate football players, maybe in recruiting, players within the program, and oversee the day-to-day football operations and make sure he puts in place the appropriate personnel for the Miami Hurricanes football program to succeed. It's not Manny Diaz is not going to succeed at Miami. I'm not a big Manny Diaz fan. I think you guys understand that by now if you watch the channel. Um, we have over 150 people, 18 minutes in, joining us live. Greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for this video. We would greatly appreciate it, guys. It's 9:55, and I appreciate everyone on the Sunday night taking time out of their Sunday night just to listen to us talk some Canes football.
absolutely.
Ross, Mario Cristobal really got blown out against Utah. I mean, they got slapped in the face. I think they lost by like
Yeah.
30 plus. I mean, look, if Alonzo Highsmith, if he is named tomorrow, head of football operations, athletic director, whatever it may be, it seems like Mario Cristobal would be their first option.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
that loss kind of put any doubt or question mark saying, like, hey, is he really worth all that money?
I think that win or loss in that game, he was still our guy. I really do. Utah, everyone, this is Utah does this occasionally. Utah will lose to some bad teams, and they'll come in and they'll beat a team they're not supposed to beat. Whittingham is a very oddly competitive guy. He's a strange coach, but he gets things done up there. The Oregon offensive line, I don't know what happened there, dude, in that game. I mean, they looked atrocious, basically, and that's Cristobal's strength. So I'm not going to just put down on him for just one game. I still think Cristobal could come into Miami and totally have success. And the one, not having his offensive line perform for one game doesn't change my opinion on what he could do for our offensive line either. He would recruit at a higher level, and we'd get better players in, and we'd actually get some development.
Yeah. Look, I think Cristobal will be a great success in Miami in the sense of recruiting would be elite, 10 out of 10. We'll have a top 10 class every single season. We
Yep.
will lock down South Florida. I also think with Tyler Van Dyke, you saw the success he had with Herbert. They won the Rose Bowl. I think Miami will be a successful team in the ACC, and I think they'll be able to compete in the Orange Bowl at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, here's my thing. Like, if it gets to a point where Miami, like, Cristobal is their guy, some people may be mad at this statement. Like, is Cristobal worth 8 or 7 million? I don't know. I don't think a lot of coaches are worth that money. If I'm paying a coach 8 or 7 million, we better get to the college football playoffs at least more than one time during his tenure at Miami. Like, we literally have to get in. We have to win the ACC consecutively. Like, I need to see a lot of success, and I'm going to be, it's you're getting paid a lot of money, to not have be a successful team. So, I mean, I just hope Mario can back it up because, like, he has a good resume. He does.
Yeah.
During his time at Oregon, and I think it would be a great hire recruiting wise. We saw what he did with Herbert, winning the Rose Bowl. He's got Tyler Van Dyke. I'm also curious, how much money would be left over for his staff as well. Remember, guys, like Manny Navarro, there was Michael Ryan Ruiz on the Dan Lebitard's show said Miami was going to put in 20 or 30 more $1 million. That has not been confirmed by anyone internally at the University of Miami. Manny Navarro of The Athletic stated that in his report. So, I mean, there has been no confirmation about how much Miami is going to put in the athletics program. That report was never confirmed. 20 and 30 million. That was denied. Or wasn't, I don't know. I don't know if it was denied, but it just was not confirmed. No one
Yeah.
followed up on that. So I'm curious, how's this all going to work out?
Everything is based off of the University of Miami making a financial commitment to the football team. I mean, it's you either put in all your chips, or you keep playing this dumb little game where you pretend to care and you toss a little bit of money here and there and a little bit of money there, but nothing consistent that's helping build the program. It's time to build this program back up. It's time to get Miami football back on the right track.
A lot of people in the chat saying, is Rhett Lashley going to be retained on the staff, whoever with the next OC? Well, if they hire a guy like Lane Kiffin, no, he won't.
No.
But, a guy like Mario. I mean, do you retain Rhett Lashley from what you've seen so far? I mean, I don't think he'll stick around, honestly. I think another program will pick him up. A lot of people think Sonny Dykes may take that jump to Virginia Tech. And maybe he goes to UCF with Gus Malzahn. I don't know. I don't really know, but I don't think he'll be retained, Ross. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's a long shot to be retained. I don't think it's impossible. And I think what would really base it off of is how TVD ends this season. And if a next staff truly believes that that's the magic recipe, that Lashley is the guy for TVD, the important thing for us is this QB position. The QB position has to be taken care of. So a lot gets based around that. A lot of decisions get based around what's going to be best for the QB. I think Lashley is probably going to be gone. I think so, but I think that the next staff would probably still bring him in for an interview as if like he's a free agent, basically. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, I agree. Any other offensive coordinators that Mario Cristobal has connections to, Ross? I know people are going to flip out. Maybe we'll get like a run game coordinator, pass game coordinator, something of that aspect, kind of what Clemson had with Tony Elliott, and I think it was Jeff Scott, two kind of offensive coordinator assistants working together, one on the pass game, one on the run game. I know Frank Ponce, the App State OC, there are connections with Mario Cristobal. Maybe they bring him on staff to a smaller role than offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I really don't know good names to list off there, Paul, dude. I just don't, unfortunately. I know he's had a couple, and even if it wasn't long-term relationships, it was just short-term stuff. He's at least made some nice relationships along the way. Cristobal he seems like the guy, dude. He just seems like the guy. I every time I go back and compare and wonder about all these coaching possibilities that we could have, Cristobal always ends up at the top, dude. I like Lane Kiffin a lot at Miami. I like him a lot. It's just that's where the new AD, if we get a right kind of AD, we might decide to make a hire like that. But our history tells us, as of at least now, Lane Kiffin isn't the type of guy we hire, unfortunately.
According to Daniel Rivera, Mario, when he first got the Oregon job, wanted Rhett Lashley to come to Eugene. It's very interesting. Yeah. We'll see what happens, guys. But I think if Alonzo Highsmith is hired, he's associated with the athletic department. I think Mario Cristobal is option one, and it's going to take a lot to get away from option one to option two, which I believe is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I don't mind Lane Kiffin at Miami. I honestly, dude, with his braggadocious attitude and that swag that he has, I don't mind trying to bring a little bit of that back to Miami. But the thing is that Miami has to allow him to be like that. They have to allow him to bring that swag back and that energy back. If they want to just hold him back and keep him somewhat timid, well, then it's not the right place for him. He needs to be able to basically spread his wings and be Lane Kiffin to the fullest.
All right. Over 200 people joining us live, 26 minutes in. If you want Lane Kiffin as your next head coach, hit the subscribe button. If you want Mario Cristobal as your next head coach, hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it, guys. So we'll find out who wants who in a little bit. after
Yep.
the show. It seems like the majority of people, and I could be wrong, want Mario Cristobal over Lane Kiffin.
This is the chance for the fans to speak here, guys. You know, this is a way to get your voice out there, so it's known what direction we really want to go in.
We'll see. I mean, like the thing with Lane, though. I mean, like honestly, like this whole thing was weird. Okay, hear me out. Like I think he's interested in leaving Ole Miss. I believe that. But this report came out by Andy Slater the day after Mel Tucker got $8 million a year. I don't think that's not a coincidence. Florida's open. LSU is open. Heck, even Washington's open. Miami's open. He's not going to USC, but there's a lot of good jobs that are open
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have his time at Florida, Miami, maybe LSU. He'll get in an interview. I don't know what direction they're going to go. But there's 3 potential landing spots for Lane Kiffin. And then Ole Miss, they're not going to sit there and let him go. They're definitely going to renegotiate his contract.
He might have been really smart in marketing himself. You know, I mean, only Lane Kiffin knows the absolute truth of where he wants to be. You know, using Miami as a bargaining chip, it's going to work for him, dude. It actually is going to work for him. He is going to get paid by somebody. He's going to make more money by basically showing interest in not just us, but a couple other schools as well. Lane's a smart dude when it comes to taking care of himself or taking care of his contract, taking care of what he needs himself. He can do that pretty well. You know, hey man, it comes down to are we willing to spend the money or not? You know, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, Paul. Are we willing to make the financial commitment to bring in a guy that has success already? And that's why a lot of it goes back to Cristobal, because they say, well, he's got more experience, more success. But hey, man, Lane's been in the game a long time. I think people forget how long Lane's actually been in the game.
For the record, I don't think Mike Gundy will be hired at the University of Miami. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
So Randy Noel mentioned, Paul, I guarantee you Zoe is doing work behind the scenes. I agree. If Alonzo Highsmith is hired as AD tomorrow, head of football operations, I guarantee you he's already been in contact with Mario Cristobal. They graduated from the same high school, Christopher Columbus Senior High School, played at the University of Miami. It's a brotherhood. They've already been in contact. There's probably already initial word if he's interested or not. I guarantee you. And I'm sure he will be. This is his alma mater. He wants to come home. But at the end of the day, he's not dumb. Like, you have to meet his quota. He's not just going to, like, miss out on, like, $3 million and be like, hey, just because this is where my heart's at. Like, you have to pay up his quota.
Now, there's one thing I want to bring up on this this point here. We've had issues in the past with hiring friends or hiring family members, and it's made some issues for us. Is it fair to at least say that we need to do the due diligence enough to make sure that nothing like that would happen in this instance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like who is Mario related to someone in college football that like he might bring in? Is there someone you were referring to?
No, I'm saying more as like, you know, just saying friends have been something involved. Like, remember the DC for Golden, you know, stuff like that. You know, I mean, sometimes when people are brought in on the friendship scale or the family scale, it can go south. But I think that those are two guys with such strong football minds and love the U so much that I'm pretty sure that they'd make it work.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things. Like, if Mario can't get the thing rolling in Miami, like, who the hell will?
Yeah,
honestly. I mean, like, this program really is cursed. Like, honestly, like Mark Richt, he had success. He had he got us to number 2 ranked team in the nation, week 11, or whatever it was, beating Notre Dame. Then we fall flats in Pittsburgh, but we were in the top 4. We were ranked in the college football playoffs. Things were looking great. You know, I mean, something's got to give. I don't think it's that hard to do it. I just think Manny Diaz, you got a 6-hour coaching search because you hired Temple's second choice, and he should have never been in this situation. And that's why Blake James is fired. So I think we'll be in a good spot.
Whoever the next head coach is, he can't be a lazy recruiter. We can't have that anymore where he just expects all of his other guys to do all the work for him. While coaches don't always have to be directly involved in that, they can be a figurehead. They can be a face. They can be a presence in some of these issues, you know, some of these areas at games, you know, whatever, 7-on-7s, that kind of stuff. Yeah, hopefully this next staff, dude, like I said, hopefully this next staff really buckles down on local recruiting. And Cristobal is the type of guy that I think would do that, because right now we're so far behind the 2022 class. It's going to take a guy like Cristobal to get us back in the mix, a guy that truly is an elite recruiter. That's the issue. If we bring in just a so-so recruiter, a good recruiter right now, we're so far behind, Paul, that we would actually stay behind for a couple more years. There's no doubt about it in my mind. We gotta make some drastic change, and it's got to be done right. If not, dude, I mean, we can't go 2022 and 2023 with basically no talent. We can't do it, dude.
Yeah. All right. So in the chat, please tell me, who do you think this week or next week, whenever the decision will be made, who do you think will be athletic director, and who do you think will also be a part of the hire? Is it just going to be an athletic director? Do you guys think Alonzo Highsmith will be hired as AD or a part of the athletics program? Please tell me, who do you think will be the guy, or maybe there's going to be multiple guys associated with the athletics program at the University of Miami. Please put it in your comment. Chat, do I think Urban Meyer has a shot to be at UM? I think Florida has a better chance. How about that? Of landing Urban Meyer.
I think USC too would have a better shot.
Yeah. I think Miami would be third. All right, so we got Alonzo Highsmith, Tom Jurich, and Zoe. Alonzo Highsmith, Jurich as AD, Zoe head of football ops. Alonzo will be head of football. Jurich, Zoe, Mario. I agree. I think this is happening. I really do.
The fans are speaking.
I really do. AD from Gonzaga. I didn't even know Gonzaga had a baseball program.
Yeah, they got a baseball team, yeah, but I mean, they don't have a football program.
I don't think we interviewed the AD of Gonzaga. I don't think that happened. Alonzo, but I want Shiano. We win a national title with Shiano. I think we're like 2 decades late with Shiano, honestly. Yeah. I think Shiano would have been great 20 years ago. I think we're 2 decades late, unfortunately.
I don't mind bringing in a jerk, but, you know.
What was that?
I don't mind bringing in a jerk as a coach, you know, a guy who's going to make these players toe the line, who might be a little bit of a militant asshole. That wouldn't bother me none.
I think Tom Jurich would be a great hire. The only thing is, like, I really hope I just hope we really did our background, our due diligence, you know? I really hope.
We can't get caught up in any scandals and stuff like that. We can't even be associated with the word scandal, because we know what happens at Miami when there's even a little bit of feeling from the NCAA we've done something wrong. And just look at Juan Hernandez. Look at how they handled his situation. That's the kind of stuff they do at Miami, dude. It's sad, but it's almost as if they want to find a reason to screw with us.
What about the guy from Alaska, Anchorage? Daniel, you got to help me with that, buddy. You got to help me with that, Danny boy.
That guy up in Alaska, Anchorage, he's done a hell of a job with their basketball program and actually keeping it viable and keeping money coming into that. It's not easy up here, dude. It's really not easy to have sports thrive up here in Alaska.
What's his name?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, dude. I've been trying to think of it. I just can't remember the name. He's been at other places for sure. He's been I think mostly on the West Coast, but he's a basketball guy though. I mean, this isn't a football move. I want a football move.
Right. I mean, the main thing is, look, like, Leonard Hamilton had his success in basketball. Jim Larinaga, had his success in basketball as well. Baseball does have 4 national titles. I think it can work itself out with the right guy. I don't think it's that much of a big need. We're fine there. Regardless of who we hire, it'll work itself out. Football's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed. That's where you make the money. That's the driving force. That's your national identity as an athletics program. It's got to be football. Get it done.
We make the commitment to our football team. It's making a wise investment is what it is. You're going to get money back if you invest into this team. That's smart investing. Is something that, we should be excited about. It's something that these guys should want to do. I promise. You pump money into the football program at Miami, you get better coaches, they start to recruit better players, you will make more money with the football program and be able to spread that money around to the non-revenue sports easily while still staying in the green.
Guys, show some love to Ross, man. He's doing this all the way from Alaska. It's probably like 6 p.m. in his time zone.
Correct.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
It's 10:13 for me.
Yep.
doing it all the way from Alaska. What time do you wake up for noon games?
They start at me for 8 o'clock, so I'm up at least by 7:30.
And then it ends at like 11 for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's a early one. It comes and goes pretty quick, you know.
All right.
I think this next week's an early one for me. Actually, I think that's going to be an early game. Yeah.
So yeah, we got Duke next week. They'll probably let Manny Diaz coach the rest of the way if he is going to get fired. I don't see the harm of just not letting him finish out the season. I don't really see what's any harm of that, letting him coach 2 more games while you're doing a coaching search.
December 3rd, bro. December 3rd. That's the date to wait for, because I believe that's the day that if Manny is let go on that day or after that day, we actually saved $2 million on his buyout. It's in the contract.
So yeah, I mean, let him coach through December 3rd. There's no harm, and then say, hey, thank you for your time. Now please leave ASAP. All right, over 240 people joining us live, guys.
Wow.
37 minutes in. Anything we haven't covered, Ross, that you want to talk about? I'm expecting a decision this week for the athletic director position. It seems like a lot of people think Alonzo Highsmith and Tom Jurich in the chat will be the next guys involved. I kind of want a surprise name no one's mentioned. I don't know why. I want to be in shocked. I don't want to be I don't know. I want to just get a random name and jaw drop. What? I didn't think that would happen, But
Well, we'll be having some recruits on tomorrow, so touching base a little bit with the recruiting stuff, dude. I mean, we're struggling. It's bad, dude. We're struggling bad. This is going to be a chance for some of these guys to come on and let the fan base know exactly how involved Miami is with them. I want that out there, dude. I want these guys to be able to say it, and they don't seem to have any issue holding it back. They want the truth to be out there. So I have no problem with those guys coming on and speaking their minds, because, frankly, I'm really upset to hear that we stopped pursuing some of these guys in the 2022 class. These are guys that are P5 starters, in my opinion. It's just a shame.
Yeah, and this is the importance. When you hire an athletic director, they are going to be doing a full court press to hire their next head coach.
Absolutely.
Because of early National Signing Day. So
Absolutely.
Once they hire the AD, the next 2 weeks,
Boom.
You will be hearing names appearing. You will be hearing reports of coaches contacted.
Yep.
They will get the ball rolling. I wouldn't be surprised if they already know who their AD is. Maybe if it's Alonzo Highsmith associated with the football program, he's already gotten a head start in contact to the people he's wanted to contact.
I mean, yeah, if the ball's already rolling and the right guys are in place and they're truly hungry to get to Miami and make this happen, something special could happen, possibly, Paul. Seriously, if this is done right, something special could happen at the University of Miami, possibly.
For those of you guys who don't know, I do have a weekly show with Brandon Merriweather. When spoken about Mario Cristobal, he said a really, really good friend of his, strong source, said Mario Cristobal would not consider the University of Miami job. That's what he said. That's what he said. Move forward. Let's see what happens. I don't predict the future. Let's see. That's really all I can say about that. I would assume Miami would have contacted Cristobal to see if there is interest.
Yeah, I mean, I think that due diligence will be done. Like I've been mentioning, it'll be done, but I'm not going to be shocked or overly surprised if he doesn't want to pick Miami. I mean, if he wants to stay in Oregon and work with the Nike machine,
Yeah,
I'm not going to knock him for that, dude. Honestly, it's no matter where Cristobal ends up at, it's going to be a good situation for him, because it's either going to be right in a hotbed area for recruiting, or it's going to be at a place like Oregon that's got all that financial backing, all the swag, all the glitz and the glamour. Like I said, I won't be shocked if he's not the head coach at Miami next year. It won't shock me at all, unfortunately.
No, yeah. I mean, let's say Miami's, they really want Cristobal as their number one guy. I mean, there's a lot of things they have to pull strings with money. Contracts with Nike. I'm sure there's a lot of money being involved with Mario. I mean, if he would have made the college football playoffs, if they would have beat Utah, I mean, it probably would have been even more money. Miami's going to have to invest heavily in Mario to bring him here.
You know who else might do really well in this situation is Adidas kind of hinting and making some backings of, if the right moves are brought in, or if this kind of guy possibly is brought in. They can't be specific about it, of course, but just a little bit of push for it. It wouldn't hurt none, dude.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got. I'm excited about tomorrow. See if we get an announcement. I'm excited about the rest of the week. But we'll find out more information as the days go by, and hopefully we'll be getting a new athletic director very soon, and better days ahead for the Miami Hurricanes football program. Thank you again. We had over 250 people join us live.
Oh,
Greatly appreciate it, guys. Go Canes.
okay.